In the bottom right, as player 1, playing Mercia, we have Saikoya. And this is Project Oblivion, so this is the updated version for the mod of the map Oblivion. Uh, with the extremely long name, Sir Emo Tarquin Death Champington. We have been playing Dark Mercia. So Project Groove is a balance mod that we've been working on for about a year now, actually, I think. Yeah, we started working on it not long after the 2.0 launch, so probably about 10 months or something by now. The original idea was like, let's make a few simple balance changes, and then as we did that, we had quite a bit of fun, so we added some new mechanics. So there will be some pretty big differences. The first one you'll notice here is these crystals on the screen. They provide mana, and this was a more recent addition, but basically, in order to use spells, in order to build certain units in this game, you require mana. In order to get mana, you have to hold crystals, and the idea is that each crystal you hold at the start of your turn is like 1 mana that you're allowed to spend that turn. So having that allows you to use like mage heals, witch hexes, and you can't build mages, witches, golems, or dragons without mana. They all cost a mana each as well, on top of the gold cost. So that's like the real big change that mana did, and that allowed us to kind of like tune those units in a way that didn't like nerf them directly, but meant people had to kind of like think a bit more about when they were building them, and it meant we could do stuff like mages kind of mess up the way early capture routes are planned on maps. So it delayed when people could actually build mages.
How do you enable the GOW mod? Because I think I installed it.
You have it in the right folder.
That's a good question. Is there a way I can make a new match and see if I got it in the right thing? Make sure I just can enable it right.
Yeah. If you go to make a new game, it will. It's in the correct place.
Project group. Oh, mine's 0.8.
Oh yeah, that's the correct one. They forgot to update
okay.
the thing. So it just says
Perfect.
0.8, but that should be the correct one.
Oh, I see. There we go. No, I think I have it in. Oh.
So, anyway, some other changes we made are things like the commander grooves are quite different. So Dark Mercia is medium charge now and only takes 25% health, but she goes above 100% health for a turn. So, or until the start of her next turn. So she basically becomes almost immortal. She becomes the boss character that like she really is. That was kind of like a fun stylistic thing, because one of the things I want to do when I made this mod, and like when me and everybody else involved, like we were working on it together, one of the things I said is like we should try and keep this in like the spirit of something the Wargroove team themselves would make. So Dark Mercia, her groove is very like boss like, and you know, she's like the final boss of the game essentially, so we wanted that to be fitting.
I appreciate that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like we're trying to like keep it thematic, right? Mercia, her big difference is that she can overheal units.
Oh.
So and she can heal herself until the start of her next turn, but she only goes up to 105%. Her units stay at 105%, but she resets back to 100 if she take damage. The idea with that was to make her a little bit more. She gives her more proactive use of her groove, because damage goes up when you go above 100% too. So if you are looking at an enemy formation that you want to charge into, you can buff up your units above that 100% mark, and then just like slam into them with your army. It gives her like a kind of like a uniqueness there as well, without changing her too much. Her groove is still pretty good overall, but it was just like lacking a little bit of the ability to kind of be proactive. Very reactive groove.
I like that a lot because like there's some like things that are like you get like a 99% on average to kill, and I can push it over the edge. Like or like some coin flips, they'll make more guaranteed. Like thieves on planes. I know there's a lot of coin flips, not planes on road. Swords have a coin flip kill on them, and that make it like a more guaranteed kill.
Yeah, and like
There's a
stuff
couple
like
other
that.
99s.
Yeah, so yeah, stuff like that. She gets like quite a nice boost because of it. There we see the first deal come down. So something as well, and this is a change we're debating about right now, is like whether it should just be mana cost for spells. Right now it is, but we might add a gold cost in the future.
It's definitely strong having it just mana. If you're not able to like use the mana for something else on your turn, because there's not much like opportunity cost where it's like, okay, I can spend the mana on a heal, or I could not spend it.
Yeah, although having now spent that mana, like there's no witch that's gonna come out, there's no mage that's gonna come out, so
Oh, do mages cost mana to build?
yes. So mages,
That
witches,
actually is-
was it mages, witches, golems, and dragons?
Interesting putting mages in the list. I can see like thematically, they're like magic users and they like require mana to be like trained.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, like I was saying earlier, the big difference that makes is that during the early capture phase, like on some maps, you'll buy a mage because it'll have that extra movement, and that gets rid of that option. So you can only use swords and spears for capturing early on. In some cases, like, and it depends on the map. Maybe the map gives you that mana early on, so you can get your mage. But
That's cool. I like that sort of switch. If I was emo, I might actually go in and attack Mercia with my commander. But that's just because I'm really aggressive. It might actually be a bad call because you don't have like a good escape path if he wants to jump in on you.
yeah, that village isn't too healthy. So if you take a bunch of damage, but that said, like you could get quite a bit of groove. So
That's true. Oh, it's medium charge too. It's not slow, so he actually has a chance of getting it reasonably fast.
yeah.
Oh,
and
early archer's interesting. It's like definitely all you.
yeah. I mean, but hey, I mean, in this circumstance, it's good, right? There's like sword, mage, bunch of spears.
This is one of the maps I think it would be okay to have an archer on. I feel like archers are often a liability. I'm usually anti-archer as like a hot take, but this might actually be pretty good because like I like the formation of the mountains and the village and that sort of diagonal, so that with just like a couple units you can really block off movement options. Because like the big weakness of archers is how slow they move. So if you have to push, if you push the whole army back by getting aggressive, then it's hard to
Yeah, get
retreat
into the
it.
front line as well. Yeah. Yeah, they do often require things like a balloon or a wagon just to make them, like more viable.
Oh man, I just got a fun.
Actually,
call.
something that applies a lot to archers, because they have quite a lot of low rolls, is we changed how RNG works as well. So there is a smaller variance on low damage rolls. So I think it's like
Interesting.
it's like a 10% difference either way, which is weird because like damage is percentage based in this game. But yeah, the way it works is like if you, instead of it being like, let's say 15 to 25 damage on a 20 damage roll, it's now 18 to 22 damage.
Oh, so the variance is lower? Is that what you? I see. That sounds awesome. I appreciate the lower variance.
Because, like I said earlier, like we want to keep this within like what Chocofish has said about how they want to design this game, but like that was a like, hey, it can be very frustrating when you have a bunch of like low damage units. Like I guess archers against commanders is a good example, and like they could do, two archers could either do 10 damage or they could do 30 damage. Like, that's like a lot. So now it's like the difference between like 18 damage and like 22 damage. So
That's nice. Yeah, no, I talked with Sir Emo Chappington about this because I was sort of on the fence. I'm like, I don't think it works that way. And then he showed me the map, and it's like, oh, wait, yeah, okay. When you have lots of little things, they really can add a lot of variance. Oh, a dragon. There's so much, like, cobblestone that it makes air units harder to use.
Yeah, and I mean,
There's
on this
not a lot of
version,
roads either.
there is less flagstone, so... But that said, the trade-off there was because, like, they're the big heavy-hitting air units, like, you know, witches and dragons, they take a mana now, so Emo had to spend, like, a mana to get that dragon on top of just the gold cost. The crystals are in fairly vulnerable spots, so you can get your opponent down to just one crystal, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, once you're in the kind of mid to late game, you really have to think about how you're gonna play around, like, with your mana. Like, if you only have one mana, like, and you really need to drop a mage heal that turn, then all of a sudden, like, your buys are very limited, so...
That's interesting. In this position, I think it might actually be safe to go in and attack. Maybe not. Actually, you can get the heal for kind of free. If you're not going to build a mage this turn, you can heal up to get 100 on Mercia, go hit. And then, because like the knight can't hit you back. You can only get hit by 2 swords, what's left of Dark Mercia, and an archer. I always like attacking, so I would always take a look at that. I really like the golem pick, actually, because the golem's like a lot more tanky than the dragon.
Yeah, although the golem is also nerfed in this mod too. So if I go to the
right, you can go on mountains.
The movement is now the same as a horse. So
interesting.
It is unable to go on mountains and slowed more by other kinds of terrain.
Specifically trees?
Trees and rivers. Although I guess on this map, you know, war isn't really a thing. But that change was very much in response to, like, maps with heavy, like, mountain terrain and golems available. Like, golems could just live forever if it's still on a mountain. So now map makers have more options as to how they want to, like, deal with golems. Like, in this case, like, they get weakened quite heavily by terrain. They can't stand on mountains at all. They struggle to get through forests as much. Although honestly, like, it's only like a 1 movement difference if they're just moving through a single forest tile. So, but you can, like, I guess, like, almost kite a golem around. Like, that said, on open plains, they're just as scary as they were before.
I really like the mana trick for witches, because I know, like, a trick I would use on really high income maps with lots of units, I would get like 7 mages, and you know, then if they just need to, like, leave their commander just very slightly vulnerable, and then they'd be dead.
Yeah, there was I mean, that was basically like the original reason why mana was, like, thought of, was that there's been attempts at making maps with, like, really high income, and as long as they have a tower, witch spam becomes a strategy.
Yeah.
So in this, it's like you get 2, possibly 3 if you capture your opponent's, like, vulnerable crystal, and, like, that's all the hexes you get for 1 turn. In this current version, they get them for free, so it's really strong, but generally speaking, they are not as that isn't as viable a strategy. You can't just, like, hex your opponent's entire army down. So.
Right. It's like lower risk to, like, use hexes for, like, poke damage now if you're not going to be spending the mana crystals.
Yeah.
Which I think is okay. I would have to, like, playtest it a lot to have, like, a solid opinion on it. You probably should put a unit below the dragon, otherwise the mage could reach there if they kill the village.
Yeah, and actually that could be like depending on the Mercia groove, that could be a really strong mage that hits it.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting point. Like 5% more damage. Because usually it'll bring it down to like 20 health on average. I guess 5% more would
I
it does
believe it is
84 more percent. Bring it down to
85
60.
average damage. So
Oh, is it 85? Oh man.
yeah, there was actually a max roll on a dragon in the previous 2v2, which did 90 damage.
Oh man. Oh, is this like a bait? I mean, I wouldn't mind like throwing the golem. Actually, the golem can't reach it because of that movement. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Is he gonna use Mercia to kill the thing? Because now that you can't use
Well, one of the swords could move away. Mercia can
Oh, I
jump to the
see.
spot below and then heal.
And then get a sword crit to kill the village.
Yeah, but it looks like Saikoya is really dedicated to this. I think he's gonna put a lot of his army in like the place to get healed. And
Oh,
then-
right, to get full. That's interesting.
Yeah, because he wants that extra bonus. So
I dig it. Oh, and then he has like a 6 health dude. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting form. I would actually put the balloon on the front lines so that it takes a hit. Actually, that's actually a good call. I like that.
yeah, she's just gonna stand on the mount. Ooh, and yeah, like you see this health icon show up. So this is just an indication of like, I mean, it's a little bit bugged. So like the mage is on 99% and has the icon still, but
That's really cool.
it just is a nice little display just to be like, hey, like these units had like extra health.
Hmm. This was a really solid turn.
Yeah, Saikoya's in a really good spot right now. Like that army is super scary, and
Yeah.
Dark Mercy is one turn away from like her groove being like,
Oh yeah, I probably should just like back off and heal up.
yeah, because once DM gets her groove up and she like hits like enough, like she only really needs to hit like 4 units above 100. Like when she hits 100, she needs 4 more.
That's true, and it's actually better to use Dark Mercia's groove right after Mercia so that she doesn't just like counteract what you just did.
Yeah, that is very true. And like,
Yeah.
there is like a theory of like if you have enough units, you could suicide it into Dark Mercia because, you know, she's doing like a lot of extra
I
damage
see.
back. So like when she has 200%, for example, a night crit will always suicide on her.
That's interesting. It's like, while it's true you get a suicide, but it's also true that she's really like, yeah, you have to kill 2 commanders. So it might be true you can get like the first 100% down easier because of the suicides, but the last 100% would be just as difficult as it normally would be.
Yeah, but it does mean that you can't do something like you can't just leave her on a road next to a dragon or 2. Like there are things that can melt commanders in this game, so you'll have to be a little bit careful. But
I think he could attack the pike on the road with the 3 health dragon, because I don't think that there's like a mage that can hit that square.
ooh, but he wants to go for this this golem instead.
Oh, that's interesting. That kind of throws it. Never mind. Mages
Oh,
are so rare on this map. Interesting.
Yeah, because mages cost mana, you can't just spam them. So anti-air is really precious. I mean, like harpies become really strong as well because they're one of the few air options in the game, like in this mod, where you don't need mana to build them.
I like it. And I was thinking, like, Surimo's like soldiers on the western flank. I was thinking that they were kind of not doing much, but I guess getting like a 100 gold income lead, it's okay for sending 2 units, especially if she can hold the center, or if he can hold the center. That's an interesting point. I wouldn't have done that. I don't like Mercia getting free groove while standing on a mountain. Maybe, is it to make it so that it's harder to get 3 sides? Now, is Mercia dead here? don't think so.
Oh, Dark Mercia.
Dark Mercia. So Dark Mercia can get pike crit. Can get hit by a golem and a sword crit. I don't think that and she's on forest tile. Wait, no, he's not on a forest tile. It's on regular plane. So pike crit does like 30.
Oh no, that's the Dark Mercia's on a forest. So
Is he on a forest? Oh, okay. I just couldn't see it. Yeah. Okay, so I think he's fine.
yeah, Dark Mercia is not gonna die this turn. So
Yeah. There's no hexes. If she had a hex, maybe. Commander does like 30. Pike crit does like 20. That's like 50 damage. Okay, yeah. Quite a bit to go through.
Saikoya just like, oh, I need anti-air units because there's a dragon that doesn't have anything thing to contest it.
And even witches cost mana. I actually like that because it like air units in later games, in like maps like these, they become like very much like glass cannons because there's just so many mages everywhere. It's like once you throw it in, you have to do a lot of damage, or you basically lose the air unit.
Yeah, whereas in this case, it's like, oh, well, you know, sacrificing units to pick off mages becomes really valuable, right? So
yeah, it reminds me of like in the early game, when you only have like one mage defending your whole army. It's really impactful to like sacrifice units to kill that, so that you can then have your air units roam pretty free. And I really like that feeling of like having these high value anti-air protecting your army against like a low.
I wonder what Saikoya's gonna do. I mean, I haven't looked at the overview, so they're just basically dead even right now. Saikoya,
Yeah.
you know, spent his groove, went in, did a bunch of damage, but now Dark Mercy has groove, and she is really scary when she has groove. You know, 25% damage, and she can't really be killed in return for it.
Backing off might be the right play.
Yeah, I am a little. So there's like one issue we had with the last version of this mod, which I think is fixed now. But Dark Mercia had an issue where she would keep her extra health at the start of her next turn and just like continually keep it. So
Oh, the trigger didn't trigger, or the
yeah. So we're kind of hoping that was fixed. I like this play. Like, realizes I've got this extra mana, I don't have the money, like, I'm just gonna throw a mage heal on my golem.
Yeah, that sounds like the right call. And I guess pulling Mercia back, like, getting free groove off of that soldier sounds nice, but I feel like she'd just die if she stays there. It's way too exposed.
Ooh, goes for the village instead.
I think it's only two sides open. You can't really get to the third side. Is that a night crit spot? It is a night crit
spot. So one thing that's quite worrying here is that not only is it a night crit spot, but Dark Mercia can groove, and that will eat. Alright, so we've got this 105% spear blocking that side now. So
I think. Oh, does he only have one pike? Oh, you can't pike crit that pike. Interesting.
So yeah, there's a really chonky pike right there. Is blocking the night crit.
And the Mercia Groove will bring it down to 80?
Yeah. I don't think anything can really kill that.
Can a mage do 80 damage? I think mages do 80 normal, not including terrain.
Let's have a look. They do 80 normal, not including terrain, so
yeah. Then, that probably... Actually, it can't kill it, even with a high roll, because there's no ranged units to eat it. Oh, you could use the dog and a sword to kill the sword left of the pike, and then you'd have two sides to kill that pike. And then you could crit Mercia. And so that's like 40 damage plus the 25 from Dark Mercia, which is 65. Then you need to do 35 damage with one hit. And I don't think she has anything that can do 35 damage.
Alright, and here we see Dark Mercia is just gonna groove everything. And she is 200% life. And I'm actually going to...
This is awesome.
Yeah, not this turn. On the start of the next turn, in case Saikoya decides to try and suicide something into this, Because I think a golem actually could suicide in, like that weak 67% golem could suicide in. But Dark Mercy has a really funny like attack animation when she has this much health.
You can turn on attack animations. I appreciate the effort you put in just to make the animation look better.
Oh, so that was a complete accident, by the way. It's just
Really?
that anytime, like, so if these spears, for example, like that 105% spear, if we had attack animations on and we'd like that got into a fight, there would be 6 spears on the screen instead of 5.
Huh.
That was just like, and like if you crank it all the way up, there's just tons and tons of spears or whatever unit on the map.
I appreciate the dev effort from Chucklefish to be able to handle more than 100% health.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose, of course, but it was. We did find it quite funny when we found that. So what do we have here? We have Emo's just being very aggressive, and I mean, here's the thing though, like, Dark Mercy does a ton of damage, runs in, is basically immortal, but her army can still die, so. And that's like the weakness of Dark Mercia in this case. Like, she doesn't do a huge amount of damage, like 25 is nice, but it doesn't.
I think this attack is really strong though. I think this is if she sends the soldiers down to kill that pike can't crit on the right. And if you start attacking like units on the left, actually the sword, or I mean the knight is pretty vulnerable. Like if you kill enough units, the counterattack won't be as strong. Those 2 golems will probably kill 2 units. Oh, I'm not a big fan of the ballista because the ballista's kind of slow. Although it is actually in position right now.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to the front quite quickly, especially because, like, Saikoya, this is, like, a very brawly map, right? So,
yeah.
We're probably not going to see the longest game anymore. Ooh, and guess a witch.
Where's that? That balloon is actually really nice because he has no anti-air right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Saikoya's pretty anti-airless right now. He's able to snipe the lone mage in the center.
And it's not like he didn't have mana. Okay, he lost his mana crystal a few times, but he spent it on 2 golems. And, like, he invested heavily into, like, a couple of really big units, but now... And okay, I guess for Mercia that makes sense, right? You want those, like, big chunky units, but... Yeah, he is, taking... He's losing a lot of stuff, and, like, he can't attack into Dark Mercia.
Yeah. If we count the units, I think they might be equal right now in the center.
Ooh. I look at that unit count. It's 31 to 42.
That's
like
a big move.
3 of that's income, right? And like, of course, Saikoya now gets to do his attacks. So there's going to be like quite a big loss of units on But
now I'd actually go after the mage instead of the archer. And then he can kill that other mage in the center. And if he built a dragon of his own, he built a witch, so that actually isn't too much of an issue for Emo. So Emo, I think, can hit that knight with a pike crit if he plays this following engagement right, where if he like sword hits the mage on the bottom and then attacks it with his commander, and then uses like a pike and a sword to kill the other pike, then he can do a pike crit on the knight on top. Yeah, exactly like this.
so he has Groove again himself, so he's gonna be able to, like, if there are units left on low health, he's gonna be able to heal them back up. So
yeah,
and you know, this is the weakness of Dark Mercia. Her army dies because like she doesn't really do much to help her army.
Yeah. Like a quick check to see if a counterattack is going to be effective is if after your attack, if you have the same number of units in that area as your opponent does, you're most likely going to lose it.
Yeah, I mean, her other strength though is because she damages a lot of units and keeps them on low health, she then gets more opportunities to kill stuff. So she gets her groove back again. And yeah, she becomes the boss character, right? where every so often she does a decent amount of AoE damage, and then like becomes immortal for a turn, and then just goes for it really.
I think this is like encapsulates the sort of, because like in the story she's supposed to be a lot more powerful and like aggressive than Mercia is, but in the when I'm playing the like competitive game, I'm much more aggressive with Mercia than I am with Dark Mercia, because Mercia can just heal herself up after she attacked. Well, Dark Mercia has to go to a village.
Yeah, and I guess like because Mercia's army can run in and be aggressive and she can heal it, like she stays on the front line, whereas like Dark Mercia is more of a like you run in kind of snipe stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's interesting sort of like how the gameplay mechanics and like the lore sort of conflict, because they definitely wanted her to be like the more angrier, aggressive version of Mercia, and I feel like this version is that, because like after you use your groove, you want to be in their face so that they have to go through you to get to your army.
Yeah, I mean, like we were trying to fit the lore, right? Like we were trying to fit within like the design of the game.
Yeah, I think the one downside, I guess it's the health is just to keep her alive one turn. I was trying to think of like a way to make it so that she's more of a wall. I guess if you play it right, you can make it so that the unit, like the square she's blocking, is really critical.
Yeah, I mean, and that becomes the strategy, right? Like, how do I use my commander that is essentially immortal? Because I mean, I talk about this. I wrote some dev blogs for this, and like when I was talking about Dark Mercia and like Ryota, the idea was that like Ryota's got a fast charge and he does like quite low damage, and his like special thing on top of that is he's quite mobile, and then Dark Mercia is quite slow and like but very powerful herself, and like you can like literally throw her into something, and she won't die. Whereas like Ragna is the opposite. Ragna will jump in and like if you don't do enough damage and she's surrounded by enemy units, she can just die. So like the three like kind of like because I guess Koji does damage himself as well with his bombs, but that's like a little bit different to like how Ragna, Dark Mercia, and Ryota function.
Did you change Koji and Ragna? Because they're like my top picks in Wargroove right now.
Not at the moment. I was kind of waiting to see how everything else shook out.
Okay.
Because we made a bunch of changes to other stuff. And like we were thinking about maybe changing some kind of core mechanics, like base damage of commanders, which would impact like Ragna and Koji.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think what we might do though is go for kind of like a safer change, like Koji bombs take like a little bit more damage, so like a mage crit could one-shot them, for example. That isn't the case right now. And
they're much more like a wall than I expected them to be, because they look kind of flimsy. They're like these little tiny, really small balls, and they're like blocking whole, hordes of cavalry from flying under them.
And ooh, we see a trebuchet come out. So trebs are something we nerfed pretty hard. If you look at it, I mean, you can see it's like range on the map there. It has, actually I can just look at it here. So it has a range of 4 to 5 instead of 2 to 5. So we really made it so that like trebuchets only got range, right? You can get underneath its attack. So it's not very good at defending. It's more of a, I want to like siege you in the late game, so I'm gonna build a trebuchet to be kind of aggressive. And like that was the idea we're going for. It does less damage against buildings. It will always it will kill a village or like equivalent, so like towers and barracks. It will kill them in one shot with a crit.
Okay.
But the general damage it does against buildings is lower. And it also does less damage against like strongholds as well. So 2 trebuchet crits will kill a stronghold still, but they will do like just above 50%. I think they go like at the really high range they can hit like 60 maybe. But they don't do like 70 plus like they were doing before.
That sort of helps Nuru, helps bring her in line, because like my understanding was like Trebs were banned on a lot of maps, mainly because of Nuru.
Yeah, Nuru and Tenri, basically.
Oh yeah, Tenri too. Yeah, those lethal conditions.
Yeah,
They really
so
came out.
yeah, we nerfed Trebs. Like they had a lot of problems as well.
And they kind of could get sort of these turtley wars because usually you want like attacking is a lot more interesting to watch and play than like turtley games where you both build up an army of Trebs and whoever attacks first loses.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was definitely like some of the earlier Groove of War tournament matches had that problem. So yeah, like walls and walls of Trebs. All right, so here we have healing again. And ooh, now we have two 105% golems.
Ooh,
And
that was a
those
really nice heal.
Yeah, and look at this. This is so scary. And all of a sudden, Saikoya, I mean, who's still a bit behind, is like really back in this game. Like that army is scary.
Yep. And everything's defended with mages so that the dragon can't really get any free kills other than maybe against that mana on the right. That's like the only thing I can think of.
It's a little bit vulnerable up in the top right, and I think the witch can get a decent hex here because of that.
Yeah.
So, but like that, I mean, it's kind of like they counter each other, right? Like Mercia kind of negates the witch hex a little bit, but the witch also takes off, like shaves off that extra health. So, like this witch hex is gonna come in and like all of a sudden that bonus health is gone. Dark Mercia, she's very close to having Groove again, so she's very much enjoying this brawl. And you kind of don't want to attack her now because at medium Groove, he builds up her next Groove like really fast. Right? Like because she's brawling so much, and like because you kind of want to leave her alone. So
yeah, if she gets attacked, I think so. She'll go up to 87, or which means if she gets attacked twice, she'll have her Groove. I think.
Yeah.
Also, the golem nerf really, like movement nerf, really playing an impact here because that right golem can't move into the forest above Tenri, or not Tenri, Dark Mercia. Oh, okay. Otherwise, like I was worried about a lethal there because maybe 3 sides could kill it. I don't think so.
Ooh, like that dragon is quite vulnerable now to the mage.
That's gonna die.
Yeah.
He's gonna die. I don't quite agree with that trade. He might have just missed that it can move onto that square because it doesn't, like when you're looking at ranges, it's like, oh yeah, he can't hit me there because it doesn't show it as a possible spot. But it'd be nice if there was an ability to like turn on ranges that include squares that like their allies can be in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to sort of miss when you're checking ranges to be like, oh, he can't hit me if I attack this guy from the top. And it's like, oh, wait. He can actually just stand. He can move with the golem and then stand there. It'd be nice to have like a highlight there. Like some sort of like different color to show that, you know, there's a unit there. You can't move. But
Emo's just like, oh, I should probably like get rid of this crystal. Because it is vulnerable for him. Like, he's been putting a lot of pressure on that whole game.
Wait, do
in
crystals
theory,
counterattack?
Apparently, yes. They don't have any kind of combat animations right now, though. So I actually think if he'd thrown 2 swords and the dragon from the right-hand side, he could have knocked the crystal down instead.
Yeah.
And
that'd be a better call. Because it's like a 600 gold worth of dragon. He did like 200 or 240 damage worth of golem damage, so
yeah,
I don't think it ends up being a positive trade.
So,
Especially how cheap mage heals are.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Like, it doesn't really matter if you take a little bit of damage.
Yeah, that damage was just healed up for a cost of a... And I was trading a full health golem for a full health knight for an 80% knight, which is okay, I guess.
I mean, I figure Dark Mercy is just gonna stand still and punch like something in the face again. She doesn't have to kill anything this turn. She can just do a little bit of damage.
It's a bit dangerous to stand there because all 4 sides can be attacked of her. Although I guess she could just heal up right after. So even if she can't die, because the mages can kill, the witches can kill the mage, or opposite wise, mage can kill that witch.
Yeah, although I think we might see a witch come out from Saikoya just for that extra 10%, because like in these very brawly situations, like getting a hex off is like huge. So, oh, but goes for the golem instead. Just really wants more and more golems.
Interesting. I guess golems do work really well with Mercia. I do really like that strategy where you just like throw golems at them and then just heal them up after they take damage.
Yeah. And
I feel
I
like
mean, Dark Mercia can't really deal with golems too well by herself. Like, you can kind of like negate them because, or at least personally, but they can just, if they build up, they can kill like the army. And while I think Emo's in a good position as far as like having a larger army and like having more of the map, like, you know, he's putting pressure on like the crystal, he's like captured more of the villages, so his income's looking quite good.
I think Emo's dead.
Maybe, I mean, like a bunch of units can come in and protect.
Yeah, it really depends how he then defends Dark Mercia, because if he doesn't do anything, I think Mercia is just dead, because 3 sides and like a golem hit, archer, mage, witch hex, probably I don't know if that mage is a mage suicide.
Oh, well, he's weak in the mage. Also, one thing we did to mages in regards to air units was mages now deal like 10% less damage to harpies and witches. So the idea was that if you sword hit a mage, it can no longer kill a harpy unless it crits.
Okay.
So we just wanted to like make them a little bit less of a like an yeah, we wanted to make like harpies a little bit better, like give them a bit more room to breathe. We've buffed harpies in like every way possible without actually touching the harpy itself. Like mages do less damage.
Mercy is fine.
Yeah, mages do less damage to them. Like their counters cost mana, so you see less of them. At one point they did extra damage to spears, but we reverted that. We were wondering if like spears needed like. There's a bunch of like dice rolls in the game, like archer plus dog is a dice roll and a spear, like a little bit anyway. But we reverted that because we realized like buffing damage against spears was a bit too much. So.
I like how you always know these archer dice rolls. I don't know a single one.
So I know the archer one because back when in the early Groove of War days when trebs were you know, all the rage and spears were all the rage, the way you would deal with trebuchets was you would like archer shoot the spear in front of it with an archer, you would then throw a dog at the spear to kill it, and then you would night crit the trebuchet.
Interesting.
And that was like the way that you would like essentially puncture through a spear wall to kill the treb behind it.
Ooh, Mercia and Dark Mercia have Groove.
And Chris, for you asking, there is, if you go to the GitHub page, which is, I linked it on the Discord, it's also on the event page for Test Your Metal. There's a README file in there, and that has all the information about this mod. So all the changes from the base, so not a changelog between each one, but it is all the changes like from the base game up to that. Because there are some other changes, like we completely changed how naval works. Although
right.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's the naval changes were awesome.
I'm still on the fence about it because we really didn't know what to do with naval. we just knew it needed changed because like it was like Chocofish were saying during the Fireside stream that they originally had planned like some more naval units, but they didn't make the final cut. So yeah, like we weren't really sure like how to like fix that, because like when you have only a handful of units, and air is okay because air interacts with like the two other groups, but like land and sea are very separate, so like they kind of function by themselves. So naval honestly like could do with a couple more units.
That's interesting. So like I guess it's sort of, how do you want naval to feel like a land combat, where it basically you have like land sort of like a set of units that function sort of similarly to land, where you'd have like, you know, pike like units, and you know they already have like a sword like units, but like have like a set of units. Oh, he's using his groove now. I guess I was gonna wait for Mercia to use his.
Well, Mercia gets her groove faster, so.
Right. I guess I just feel like it's kind of like it's just gonna counter it unless he kills anything.
Yeah, and like here's like the interesting thing about the treb on the left hand side, right? Is it can't hit the dog. So like there's that treb nerf coming in already. Like
Yep. Saikoya playing that well. I feel like that treb actually hasn't really done much this game. I feel like it's kind of been like a waste of 1,000 gold.
It's done some stuff, but it's definitely like it really should be over with Dark Mercia. It would threaten to kill the golems like really heavily, so.
Oh yeah, he's so impactful around that, especially if like it couldn't hit Dark Mercia, but it could hit the squares around her.
Yeah.
That would be good.
And you know, like the ballista, like it's a nice unit to have, but it's definitely not gonna kill much.
Yeah.
And getting this crystal again, and honestly, like I feel like Mercia is really just. This is a great map for her, right? Where like it's like, especially when you play it like this, where you can just sit here and hit things over and over and over again. And if you have the big chunky golem units that are incredibly difficult to kill, then.
Oh, is he gonna get one of them?
Not sure.
I don't. It's 19. I think swords do like 15%. My memory serves me right.
Oh, they do 10 apparently.
10%.
So and there's no variance there. So.
Yeah.
I think the ballista shot the one that's now at 26% health. If that had shot the other one, I think it would have gone down.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you should have focused on one. Killed it. That's like the big trick when you're fighting Mercia, is to kill units and not leave them on low health to like reduce the value.
And you know, like for as great as like Dark Mercy is now, like I mean she's definitely a lot stronger than she was before.
Oh yeah.
This is not the really way that you want to fight. I mean, I guess it's like kind of a bad matchup almost, where like if there's just golems sitting in front of you and you can't kill them, then although I don't know, maybe like if she'd had a treb behind her, she could have been picking off golems. So
yeah. Like if the treb on the left, we just like teleported it to the right, it would. I think this game would be very different. I feel like it's good. It's like hard to look at like the balance of a hero in like a single match. It's good to look at like a lot of matches, especially if there's like a minor misplay like that, because like little moves like that can have like huge impacts on the game.
I'm actually gonna turn on commander fight animations because we might see some golem suicide in. I don't think we will, but I'm gonna turn it on just in case. Like maybe Saikoya does throw a unit into Dark Mercia, and that is such a. I don't think I've ever actually seen it outside of like a video of it, but I'm looking forward to it. Oh, and this treb's just gonna keep moving forward. And honestly, this is not a bad way to use this treb. Like being on the right hand side would have helped a lot, but being on the left, it does, you know, slowly pick off villages. The incoming lead is gonna come in.
That's true. That's true. He is slowly winning that flank. So if he can just like hold the right flank, or at least like lose it slower than he's losing the left flank, or than he's winning the left flank. Okay, that's pretty impactful.
Yeah, and like, normally a trebuchet would kill those spears, but not anymore.
Yeah. Everyone ignoring the raid. Oh, hey, Floppy Mick Ding. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have read his name.
So I mean, this is more of a chill match. Like, we're just kind of doing a show match. So hello, Floppy. Hello, everybody. Floppy is a good friend of mine. He's from a lovely stream community that I am part of, in the sense of like they have like an actual team of streamers that I'm not part of, but I am in like their community as like a viewer and a member of their Discord. So
cool.
And Floppy's like honestly like genuinely lovely person. I think Floppy was streaming Portal today. I think.
Cool. That's a classic. Portal 1.
Portal 2, I think. I mean, Floppy can correct me.
Oh,
Portal
good.
2, okay.
Portal 2. Yep. Solid game.
But yes, for people joining, we are celebrating the 2-year anniversary of Wargroove. The game has hit its like second birthday, and we're having a lot of fun. Actually, coming towards the end of the day, Chocofish did a bunch of streams. Some other people in the community did a bunch of streams. There is one more show match after this, which should start in about 20 minutes. This is really quite a grindy fight. So, but I think what we're seeing is that Dark Mercia's army is just getting constantly destroyed. And Dark Mercia, like, she's great because she's really strong, but she's weak because, like, in the sense of, like, Mercia is just constantly healing her troops and keeping her army alive, and she has these high-value golems, and Dark Mercia is, like, it fits her, like, personality as well. She's kind of, like, a bit more selfish, right? Like, she is, like, the evil boss character, and, thus she doesn't really support her army. She is, like, a one-person army, so...
I also appreciate that Dark Mercia's main weakness is Mercia herself. That's a nice bit of like theme. Interesting.
Also, for the people coming in, this is a Project Groove, a mod like that we made, which is more of like us trying to make the game a bit like more competitively balanced, and we tried some other stuff.
I bring ruin.
Dark Mercia actually gonna pick up a golem, so she's gonna be very happy about that, and she's gonna be able to kill this mage as well. So her dragon will almost be safe. I mean, it's gonna take a mage hit. It's unfortunate. 2 mage hits. Oh, it could actually get killed.
Yeah.
But she does kill a golem for that, which I think is worth it at this point. You really want to just thin this golem count down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Either he's gonna kill the witch up top and damage the dragon, or kill the dragon. Kind of partial to either.
But this is a pretty good turn for Emo.
Yeah, I think it's not enough to bring it back for him, but I think it's enough to sort of stop the bleeding a little bit. He's on the back foot, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, and it could go either way. So.
Oh yeah, I throw so many games by losing my commander, so it definitely it definitely can. And Saikoya is kind of funny, where if you play him in an async match, he'll make like really silly mistakes, but if you play him in a live match, he's like really spot on. I've only really been able to beat him in async matches.
Ooh, something I'm noticing here is that witch could go down as well, unless, like, I guess the doggerel balloon goes in front.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. He can lose the witch and damage the dragon, or kill the dragon. And if he loses the witch, then the golem can attack the Oh,
still kill it from left.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably a fair trade. 400 gold. I know it's not time key on commentary. This is CleanerCode. I guess we sound the same.
You do sound quite similar, actually.
Oh, I promise we're not the same person.
Ooh, I like this play with the archer. It just weakens this village so the spears can finish it off. Saikoya has to be careful here because I mean, like, one thing that could go quite wrong is who hits with the golem? I mean, he might just like smack Dark Mercia a bunch before she gets her groove. And like actually threaten and force her back, because then all of a sudden she can't just stay there and like kill units and get groove for free. Of course, hitting her gives her groove, so
yeah, but less than if she like attacks, because I think counterattack, like if you attack her, you give her like 7%, and if she attacks, she gets 14%.
Yes. So just then. So she's gonna be a little bit weaker. She has to run back and heal, but and actually that's quite good as well, because that means the golems can then just run forward and keep going forward. You know, there's like mage heals behind this as well, so
Actually, the golems can't go over that mountain, so if she stays where she is.
oh right, yeah. She can just be a wall.
Yeah.
Although the golems could like run around the mountain technically.
Expo 5 saying that I'm losing games just like time key. Yeah. We got a ballistic crit on the table.
We do. I mean, that's a rare sight, like the ballista being one of the longest range units in the game. Actually, the longest range unit in the game. It stands still. It has a range of like 2 to 6, and its critical strike is when it's a unit's very close. So.
Yeah. Now, if you make their minimum range higher, does their crit change? It says minimum range, but I feel like it's hard coded to 2.
It might be hard coded to 2. Although I do know that like when it's windy, and we've never really played around with weather in Project Groove, but when it's windy, the Treb crit will hit not just the furthest away, but it'll still hit on the 5 as well.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Emo might be able to get quite a bit of damage done this turn, actually. This hex is gonna be huge, and like the spear crit follow up is there's gonna be a conga line of spears coming through.
Actually, the mage on the right can hit the witch. Might have been better to move that witch 1 square left.
Oh, the village would have to go down.
Yeah, I figured it's probably gonna go down to something. It's got dragons and golems.
If enough units go forward, it should be actually okay. And I believe these spears will clear up that front line of spears, so.
Yeah,
I don't know if the village can buy.
I think he can get 2 pike crits off of those 2 8 health pikes. Actually, because those 3 pikes are in a nice formation where each one can get a crit attack off.
Yeah, and the dog or the sword could even like get the extra hit, right?
Right. Does the pike crit not kill an 80 health?
Oh, that one does, but one of them's on a forest, so that one will live. The forest tile keeping it alive.
Okay, that's good to know.
The sword, yeah, the sword comes and finishes off. Could see. Are we gonna see like a dog crit come in? I don't really know. Oh yeah, you could dog crit the one on the left.
Can you dog crit the one on the left? The
Yeah,
left
there's
dog.
a dog
Oh,
in the
because there's a
balloon.
dog. Oh man, those surprise dog crits, man. Okay.
I was about to say, ooh, are we gonna see like a golem suicide onto Dark Mercia, but
Oh, 37 such a bad percentage. It's like a full health golem.
yeah, like if it was a little bit weaker, I think we could have, but
Right, because it's gonna do like 40 damage.
yeah, then she won't be able to. She'll take too much damage to be able to do damage in return. So
I don't think DM is dead. Because you can't really get a unit north of DM. Because the golems can't walk on mountains. If they could walk on mountains, they might be able to. Because you could get Dark Mercia or Mercia to kill the soldier above him, and then you have a dragon hit, 2 golem hits. Might be enough.
Ooh, I like this play a lot. Just moves his army over to the right hand side again. Oh, actually, because the village was Dark Mercia used it to heal, like Mercia could take it down now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like oh no wait, there's a forest blocking and Dark Mercia is blocking, so the mage can't reach the witch. But you know the mage could take the dragon down, so
You're right. 1, 2. Yeah. I missed the forest tile.
and we could even see something like this mage in the bottom right. Oh, I would have thought it would run forward and heal first, but it could have healed like both golems and that mage.
Yeah, that would have been a nice mana usage.
The golems not being able to move onto mountains anymore is like such a big deal, especially in this kind of situation where all of a sudden like Dark Mercy is just a wall. Like I mean, you said this earlier. Like if you can get her in a spot alone where she won't die, like she becomes incredibly scary.
That's like a good spot for like a wall. Like since she is basically a wall on her turn, you want to find those like choke points like that where there's only 2 tiles that they can get through, and there's like mountains on each side. So that if you block the other sides of that village, even if it's not captured, they can't go through it. Dipsy Duck, this is Project Groove. It's a mod to see what Wargroove could be.
Been very like swingy back and forth. Like it looked like Mercy was in a really strong position for quite a while there.
Yeah.
Because of this one choke point. Like the golems didn't like really move around it. I would have thought, the mage shield would have come down first on both of those golems. So, saving a lot of money, but
Yeah. There might have been a bit of a misplay. Unless he didn't want to like sacrifice his other mage. Because like the mage would have been a little bit exposed if he moved it up top. But interesting.
so what's Dark Mercy gonna do now? I mean, they're both starting to become low on time, right? So
Oh yeah.
that's gonna be a factor.
He might go after the mage on the right with Mercia, or go after that forest tile is a pretty solid spot for Dark Mercia to be in as like a choke point. You probably don't want to attack the golems because the golems are just gonna get healed up.
Yeah, I mean, you could also knock down the mana crystal.
That's an interesting point. And there's no way to like really get on the right.
Yeah, she would definitely have groove afterwards as well, so
Yeah.
any kind of attack that doesn't kill her, which is, I think actually there is no attack that can kill her if she's there. And then you're denying your opponent mana. Yeah. I don't know how big a deal that is right now. Ooh, but we might see Dark Mercy run to the center.
Not a big fan of that sacrifice.
Almost kills 1% health.
Ugh, that roll. That's brutal. Yeah, I would have kept that other pike around. Just because he can set up another pike crit. But hindsight's 2020. That's a good spot for a balloon. Now that's interesting. I feel like the golems can just punch in and kill the. Oh, okay, never mind. Actually, can mages one-shot balloons?
Yes. We didn't change that damage.
I think he's just gonna punch in with his commander and golems to kill the ballista. Like attack the kill the sword, kill the balloon, attack the ballista. Oh, look at that clutch trebuchet That's no longer an option, really, because if you attack the ballista, it's in crit range of that trebuchet. Interesting. Yeah, I thought this was going to be over a lot sooner than it actually ends up being.
I do wonder if there's like any kind of lethal here.
I don't think you can kill the balloon.
Yeah, it's that balloon on the right that's kind of annoying.
And you can't really kill the top sword without... Oh, is he going to go for it anyways? Does he not see the trebuchet crit? Or is he just going to think that like trading a balloon, or like a mage for a balloon is a good trade?
I mean, it depends how much mana you have, it can be. Because yeah, it's like a 450 unit versus a 400 unit and a 1 with 1 mana on top of that.
Yeah, that's true. I always find barrack builds are more valuable than air builds, even if it is 50 gold. Okay.
This flagstone's really just keeping Dark Mercy alive, like.
Yeah. No big hitters can hit from the top. It's interesting. Can ballistas kill balloons
save you all.
in one hit? I should assume so.
Aura!
Oh, interesting. Using this.
Okay, so the
overheal
trap
his
crit I think
units.
will still, destroy that golem.
Yeah. I guess it's like an 800 unit trade for a 1200 unit trade. Like if you're ahead, doing inefficient trades like that can be good.
Yeah, and I guess he just kind of wants to barrel down and put pressure on. And Saikoya, oh, I guess he's still behind on the unit count, but he's ahead on economy now. Even though he's behind on unit count, like his units are quite a bit stronger.
Yeah, very much so.
Because when you've got 100 and oh, that dragon didn't get the Mercia heal actually, but the golems did. So
a little
actually,
bit of order, but
there's an awkward thing here where the trab will crit this golem, right? But
yeah.
you can't build out of the right side of the barracks if you do that. So it creates this like annoying like positional thing that you have to deal with.
Yeah, if you built an infantry unit on the mountain, that's almost the same. But you're right, that is a bit awkward. Interesting, not going after... Oh, shit, I didn't realize I killed it.
Ooh, the knight doesn't kill... Oh, but the dog will finish off. Oh yeah, because the mage was on the flagstone. Dark Mercy's a little vulnerable here. I mean, I think she'll probably be okay, but... There's no
anti-air that could kill a balloon next to her.
She's on a road next to a dragon.
If it puts a balloon to the left... Oh, the dragon! Ooh.
There's an archer, like a slightly buffed archer hit here as well, so...
Yeah, he has to put a unit north of Dark Mercia. Otherwise, you're right. Oh no! I think she might be dead.
Not just yet, but it's close.
Think she's dead. Actually, you're right. How do you kill the... Oh wait, no. Can the dragon move to the north of Mercia?
Knight. Ooh, the golem might be able to like high roll the knight, but... I think it's only that like you can do a lot of damage to her.
If you kill the dog, I think the dragon can go north of Dark Mercia.
Oh.
And then you attack him with
the golem.
Yeah, you attack her. Or yeah, the golem or.
Oh, but not going for that.
Oh.
The Saikoya doesn't see it, but yeah, I think you were right. Like if you kill the dog, like the dragon could go all the way around. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Oh no, it doesn't reach.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it is 1 square off. Yeah.
Ooh, but now Saikoya is just drilling.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, just devastation. Interesting.
All of this army is going to eat a Dark Mercia Groove and a Witch Hex, though, so...
Yeah, it's 35% damage.
And there's even stuff like the Treb can crit that spear, so...
Yeah, I feel like XML5 really committed to that left flank and didn't get much out of it. He has like 5 units.
Oh, you mean Emo? Sorry.
Emo, sorry. I meant Emo.
I mean, it is
like
XMO's map, so...
I like that square. It's like a decent square to go on.
Yeah, she can still be hit, but like, well... I mean, it doesn't really matter when she's at that much health.
Yeah.
But, oh, that dragon's going to go down to the mage. There's a spear that's going to go down to a trebuchet, I think. You know, like, drilled quite hard. Ooh, the witch goes in instead. Might just save the mage for something else. But, ooh, like, both the mages on the left can do a lot this turn.
Oh, yeah.
There's a balloon that can go down.
And I think that knight can kill the... oh, I guess you would lose... You could kill the archer.
Can the knight reach? No, it's a forest tile, so...
Oh, yeah. I guess they attack the golem, at least.
I don't know if you even attack. Like, I think you might just sit it there and wall. Oh, well, the balloon's gonna... Knights? Oh, I guess Mercia could just run now, but that did a lot of damage to the army. Like, Saikoya burst quite greedily, and
wow, what a match.
Neither of them are, like, really at an advantage where they can just win.
Yeah. And I was really expecting this to be over by now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much time left. And we're going to be starting fairly soon. I think... I don't see Neuro online yet, but we're still waiting on him.
I actually got to bounce. I have a meeting I got to join to for work, but...
Oh, that's fine. I mean...
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming up to the end, so...
Cool. Well, thanks for having me, Barrett. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Thank you for joining. I've been enjoying this a lot, and say goodbye to CleanerCode, everybody, and hope your work meeting goes well.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, bye.
I do believe it's just me. Ooh. Both players are here, so... Okay, sorry about that. I was just letting the players for the next match know what to do. Be wrapping this match up fairly soon, I think. Rebs are definitely still very scary units. And like, I'm wondering what is next. Like, you know, does Dark Mercia dive in? Yeah, oh, she's gonna pick off a unit, but ooh, she's going very deep there. Maybe a little too deep. He might be dead this turn. Because I do believe the spears will be able to crit down the this knight. And I think like you could get a spear hit off the mountain. There's like a golem in range. I think Dark Mercia might be dead. It's just gonna come down to can Saikoya like calculate everything. This is like on 99%, so that actually might make the key difference between like whether it kills this knight or not. 75. I think it will do it. Oh, it lives on 3%. He gets the low roll. Oh. I mean, I don't know if it really matters that much because I think it's oh, there's a witch hex. Never mind. That's dead. So, golem, golem, and like spear on the mountain. And I think that will do it. Oh, and that's like an extra bumped up golem, and that's an extra bumped up archer. So yeah, I think we're looking towards the end, and that's like that's an archer crit. So you got 78% Dark Mercia, 40. Oh, and goes down. And well played to Saikoya. Emo Tarquin gets a little bit overzealous towards the end there and falls. It end on 31-31 exactly, so what an absolute brawl between the players. Saikoya takes it. For the second game in a row so far. I mean, if you ignore all of those Ryota chess matches earlier, like, Saikoya's doing really well today.